miss it? Are you gay? Because you look mad at me now. You look like disappointed. He's not mad, he's just like disappointed. Which is worse, I think. I think it is, we've established that. I've missed all of the talking to you before, so I love this show because there's always like a table here of like, a family? A family are like coworkers who look alike. And the way you're reacting, I have no idea which it is. Now, if you're coworkers, I do think you, because you have glasses and that's stereotypical, but glasses people aren't smart because we have to work harder. You started an accounting firm, and then you hired all of your cousins. So it is both. Am I close? Are you family? Who work at an accounting firm. Okay, that's why there's a number on your table. There's 2 numbers on your table. We love numbers. Hi everybody, I'm so excited to be here. What a packed room and a table of ghosts. It's nice to diversify the audience, it really is. I have an announcement I do have to overshare with everybody. I recently beat breast cancer. Thank you, class. I did. So this is a brand new 2024 model. Do still smell like new car, which I like. Sniff, sniff. So I got a double mastectomy, and what that procedure is they cut you open, they scoop everything out, and then they sew you back up. And a lot of times you don't get to keep your nipples, but I got to keep my nipples and the hair on them. They know I like to braid. They knew. I really appreciated that. But so I had this surgery, and it was really intense. I mean, it sounds intense. And about a week after, I broke out into this crazy rash, and I was like itchy and splotchy. It was really, really bad. And I called my surgeon, and I was like, "What do we do?" He said, "Are you coughing?" I said, "I am." And he said, "Oh, okay, well, your throat's closing." I said, "Okay." He said, "Go to the emergency room." And I said, "Okay, this is an emergency." So I get to the emergency room. Turns out, they're not as concerned. Turns out, to them, I'm just itchy. Are you a doctor? Okay, you were nodding like, I agree. You were like, really like, that was the right call. Everyone there is qualified. There was no blood, okay. You're so engaged. You're still disappointed. You're still like, I wasn't ready, I didn't consent. You're right. I'll make it up to you. With more butt stuff. Okay, anyways, back to my surgery. So I'm in the emergency room and I'm waiting there forever and I'm getting itchier and itchier and my last oxy is wearing off. Now, my fellow oxys, don't do this. That was an admission that there is a problem. Here's the thing, like, my last oxy was wearing off, and that's a bad position to be in, right? Because it was, not only was I, like, really uncomfortable with the itching, but now, like, all my incision pain was coming back. I'm telling you, I was ripped up, and I was just, like, I was in so much pain, and I just kind of, like, keeled over and tried to close my eyes and, like, pretend I wasn't there. And this whole time, for hours, there was someone in, like, the back corner of the room. I couldn't really see. And they were just screaming, "You don't know what you're talking about! We're staying. You're not a doctor. And so I take a break to open my eyes. I pull out my phone to film a documentary for World Star. But then I see that she's yelling at no one. There's nobody there. Could you imagine? Could you imagine being so crazy that you're yelling at an imaginary person in a hospital, but not crazy enough to take their medical advice? Could you imagine? And here's the thing, like, she looked well-to-do. She was clean, and she was wearing like a skirt suit. She looked like straight out of Frasier. Like, I don't know her name, but it was definitely Martha. And so, like, she's so put together, which means she's smart crazy. You know, like, she's smart rich person crazy. Which means her imaginary person has to be smart, you know? So, like, she's over here like, you're not a doctor. And they're like, I'm not even here, Martha. How do I know you're not making up? What's wrong with you? I wish I was that kind of crazy. It just looked like not very lonely. It's like, wow, that would be nice, you know? Somebody who I can talk to, who I can communicate with, have a bond with. They get me, they know me, because they are me. But I don't have to share a bed, you know? You're shaking your head. Okay. Yeah, when I think something's funny, I'm like, that's amazing. This is our first date. Me, you, and the doctor. And the oxy addict. Here's the thing. We found out the allergic reaction was from the oxy. It was so sad. I've never had a pill problem. I wanted to have a pill problem. I didn't have a lot going on. I was just in bed, recovering. God, it was the only thing that was like, as my friend said, quote, keeping me nice. But they don't tell you. The thing is, like, it was a blessing, though, because I would have developed an addiction. It just like, in all seriousness, it absolutely would have happened, because what they don't tell you about oxy is that it doesn't feel like you're high. It just feels like a good mood. So I'd wake up in the morning and be like, ugh, I'm in a bad mood. Time to get better. And then before you know it, you're doing watercoloring? That's the arts. You guys are more math people. I like want to know your real story, but I don't, because the one I made up is so good. Yeah. Let's see, what else? So, cancer, weird. I'd say the weirdest thing about cancer was I got like really weirdly vigilant and careful of the world around me, because I was just really scared of dying from something dumb. You know, like when you have cancer, that's the only thing you can die from. Like, that's your only option. Everything else seems preposterous. Like, it would be crazy if at my funeral people were like, to my parents, my family were like, I'm so sorry about what happened. Cancer is a terrible thing. And they're like, no, she actually got hit by a scooter. Yeah, she was crossing the street and she just had to Google what the end to Infinity War was. Okay, no Marvel heads here. Or they remembered what the end of Infinity War was. It was really sad. I know my oxy head. Hi right now. Yeah, you just like, I'd just be like, you know, in the casket, bald. Still, you know. All the wrong reasons. All the wrong reasons. But yeah, when you beat cancer, people really want you to like be happy. They really want you to be like, I'm alive! Fuck everything! But that's not what happens, and it's weird. Apparently, scientifically, what happens is that when you're in the middle of treatment, you're in fight or flight, and so you don't have room for all of the emotions. Your brain just isn't letting them happen. And so once you get better, it is suffocating how much they come back, how much everything just, the dam opens, right? And when I get sad, I like to sit in the shower. Don't judge me. Don't act like you're not sitting in the shower. It is an American pastime. Some of you have to sit in the shower, please, be real. But when I get sad, I like to sit in the shower. And recently I moved, and my old place had a bathtub, right? So the shower was like a bathtub. And I would sit in there, and I'd be like, oh no. My new place is a standing shower. The other day I got sad, and I sat in there. What a different vibe. Wow, what a different vibe. I was down there for 30 seconds, and I was like, oh, am I gonna kill myself? Oh God, this is like Brittany Murphy's ghost was like, bitch, you have to get up. This doesn't end well. This is not, my God. I was right, cause like in the bathtub, right? I'd sit in the shower and then like see my little toes wiggling and be like, I'm a silly girl, and then I feel better. But with this new one, I sit down and suddenly it's like, there's a rainfall of doom upon me. It is impending, never ending, and there is no hope and no one is coming for me. That's it. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. It's like, how did I get here? And you're like, I know how I got here. Just stand up. Anyways. Thanks for listening to my cancer stuff. It's pretty fucking triggering. Someone's gonna talk to me about this after the show. Don't. You might want to know this. I really wanted a boyfriend. Okay? Your tone was weird. You are pretty. I felt like you knew I needed it. And I don't like that. Anyways. I want to go sit in a shower right now. It's wild. I really want a boyfriend. I really want a boyfriend so bad because I just want a new ex. I just want a new ex. My last ex was so long ago. My last ex was so long. It was 5 years ago. That's too many. Okay, 5 years ago, we thought that pandemics happened to pilgrims. 5 years ago, we thought P. Diddy was like some cool celebrity you hope invited you to a party sometime. That's too long ago. When my friends talk about their love lives, I'm not allowed. Like, I'm out of the statute of limitations. I'm unqualified for the material. Man, and it's like, you just kind of start being like, is it me? Like, what did I do here? You know? Like, I saw, like, 2 flies fucking in the air the other day, and I was like, what does she have that I don't? It's a dark place to be in. Hope you're all understanding how much I'm showering. A lot. I tried to pick up a guy the other day through the language of basketball. Yeah? You're all starting to sound like motivational speakers to me, and I don't like it. I tried to pick up a guy through the language of basketball, you know what I mean? Because, like, that should work, right? So I went over to him, and I was like, Luka Doncic, am I right? He was like, what? I was like, yeah, I mean, did you see? I mean, he should have just worked out. It's like, wait, what do you, okay, hot take. And I was like, yeah, well, I mean, that's what he said in the interview, is that he kind of saw it coming. It's like, what's that supposed to mean, you know? And it's like, if he just worked out, maybe he wouldn't even have had that injury. And the guy was like, whoa, and I was like pulling him in, you know? And I was like, okay. Did you see the other players, like the other star players? Steph Curry was like, oh, it could happen to anybody. And that was wild. I never thought I'd see that. And so we were going back and forth, and like we were really hitting it off. And then he was like, wow, it's such a pleasure to meet a lesbian. So I'm kind of back to you know. A guy who like shakes his head when he thinks I'm funny and uses full word. You said you are funny. You are pretty. See, I couldn't even. I don't even do butt stuff. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't do butt stuff. Let's be real, I don't do stuff. I don't remember stuff. What does a penis look like? I know. It's like an umbrella. It's like a closed umbrella, right? Is that it? It's like an OB tampon? This one's for my ladies. Have you ever like thought you knew someone and then you ask them for a tampon and they pull out an OB and you're like, I'm never touching you again? It's for the ladies. Once again, just a yeah. Okay. Well, I don't think this was a bomb. I do love bombing, though. I love bombing a lot, because you learn a lot. You learn a lot from bombing. The worst time I ever bombed was I did it was a stand-up contest. It was like in my first year of doing stand-up. And it was for a sold-out theater at Mohegan Sun Casino. I don't know if you know what that is. The accountants do. They're rich. And it was sold out, and it was like 500 like old people. And not like older, I mean like old. Like, you know how Disneyland has this, like an area where you can park strollers? There's like an area to park walkers. So I go out and I can only tell like 2 jokes. And I go out and I'm like, I'm gonna hit him with the closer. Come out and I'm like, I'm supposed to get an abortion next week. I'm really nervous about it, but I took a Xanax and I think it's working because the baby stopped moving. And the room was silent as I imagined. They were shaking their heads. And not because I was funny. And I learned that day that maybe 500 90-year-olds are Republicans. Thank you guys so much.